So now we're going to talk about adding leather straps with a D-ring to either the Portsmith tote or to any tote bag that you want to add leather straps to. So we're going to be using our tote bag leather straps finishing kit here. All right, so this is what we're going for, and I'm going to show you how to do that. All right, so if you bought a Portsmith wax canvas tote maker kit, some of the holes come pre-punched and on one part, and then you'll have to punch the hole all the way through the bag to actually attach the straps. So there's one that I'll show you one way to do it, which is with a cutting board, a drive punch that's 3 30-second drive punch, and a mallet. And the other way I'll show you is with a rotary leather punch that has lots of options here too, and I'll show you how to pick the right one to use. But we'll start with the drive punch. So you'll go ahead and just make sure you have wood or some sort of cutting surface on the bottom. Some sort of surface that's ideal for cutting and using hole punchers. And you can get these at Tandy Leather. And then you're just gonna wanna come over the pre-existing hole or over one of the marks that you made from your pattern and hold that on there and then hit it with a mallet in order to get your holes. Okay, so you're going to want to do that to all 8 holes. Okay, so that's 4 on one side and then do the 4 on the other side. Okay, so you could also use a rotary hole punch here. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the maker kit here, and I'll show you how to pick the right size. So when you open up your maker kit, you'll see a few things. One is going to be the actual tutorial, and then you're going to see 2 leather straps. The holes are already punched on the ends. They're 28 inches long by 3/4 of an inch. And then you'll have a little bag here that has all of the quick set rivets that you need, plus your D-ring here. So we'll go ahead and take those out and put those aside. So when you're using this hole punch here, the hole that you're looking for should match the diameter of the stem on the long rivet, okay? And the way that this works is you want to just push it over your mark or your pre-existing mark there with and use one hand to hold it in place, but sometimes it's hard to squeeze, so then grab your other hand on the end and use both hands and squeeze it down, okay? So you'll want to do that for all of your holes. Sometimes you'll hear a little click as it punches through the fabric, sometimes not. So you'll do that for all those. So now you have all the holes on here. So now we'll go ahead and add the straps. So the most important thing to remember when you're adding straps is the same strap goes on the same side of your bag. And also make sure that your strap is not twisted. Okay, so it's just like that. So that's how it'll go. So I'm going to grab my rivets with the stems and I'm going to stick them in from the back. Here. There. Okay. And then I'm going to take one of my straps, making sure it's not twisted and it's facing the correct way. I'm going to go ahead and just push that onto the stems of the rivets there. And then I'm going to take my D-ring and I'm going to push that side on. But then I'm actually going to thread my D-ring onto the strap before I push it onto the rivet. So it's in between the 2 rivets here. Okay, and then I'm going to take my caps and just put those on. Okay, and there we go. Okay, so now this is set up to hammer. Okay, so in order to hammer the rivets, you need some sort of hard surface. So we have this piece of marble here, and you also need a hammer. So these set pretty easily. All you really need is a hammer to set them. So I like to hammer from the inside of the bag. In case I miss and dent the rivet, I'm denting it from the inside. Okay, So you want to make sure that there's nothing in between the rivet and your hard surface. Then you also want to double check and make sure your strap is not twisted and it's set the same strap to the same side of the bag. And then I'm just going to take the hammer, just start lightly to make sure that your rivet doesn't start to set crooked. Then once it starts to actually crunch down, or once it starts to set, then you can hammer a little bit harder. Okay, and what you're looking for is the rivet to slightly divot into the leather. Okay, so that's the side without the D-ring. And then when you're setting the side with the D-ring, you just want to set one at a time and make sure you're pulling the D-ring out of the way. So I'm going to pull the D-ring down because I'm going to work on the top rivet there. Okay, then I'm going to lift this and I'm going to push the D-ring up now so that now I can work on the bottom rivet. And then that side is set. Then I'm going to go ahead and put the straps in the other side.